In 2022, we are going to receive a big snap in the face, pooh, to another wake-up call with this Jupiter meeting Chiron in Aries. It will touch already in October 2022. So I don't know what sort of event it will going to be, but it will remind people that I need to stand on my own legs and not to continue drinking milk from the nipple of the beast mother.
No, no, definitely not. Saturn in Capricorn is also about going back to the countryside, to the land and growing your own food and really buying land and growing your own food. Isn't this the very right thing to do? I see people more and more doing this. They're buying country land and they're growing their food.
It's amazing. This is the direction to do.
This is the thing to do. Yeah. The water is on the stock exchange. You saw this? The water. This is scary. Osher.
This is very scary because with next year so much Neptune and Pisces, it also could be something important related to water. So it's so scary always to imagine how millions of people living in same city, everybody consuming from the same tubes and the same supermarkets, using the same cards. Like this card is giving you the access to what is actually not in our control anymore. So they control the money, they control our food. So, we need to come back to self-sovereignty. So the first step is, first of all, to buy with another currency. And I think that it will be start showing to the culmination of 2023 from the middle of 2022, from next spring. And this is, to my opinion, is related with China. I see here any event that China, that by the way is very Aquarian energy, or that something horrible is happening in the world and China has come to save us by purchasing and saving the world with their trick, and then they take the power and the empire place to govern the world with their own technology that they valued, and then the world will change. But this is like a takeover because the hard transits that are happening right now on the United States that are so visible. I also see a very surprising event in the coming year in Israel with this North Node Uranus, and all those vaccines has to see something because everybody in Europe are speaking, wow, how Israel succeeded to vaccinate the entire population. We need to learn from them. Very
well, by force, by terrible totalitarianism. That's how.
And all those peace that Israel generating in the last year suddenly with enemy countries, Muslim country, is all sort of a plan for a regime, massive regime change. And of course that they are putting Iran to be as the bad guy. I'm not saying that he's a good guy, but the Iranian people are amazing people. But there's something in the government that I don't know. No government in the world remain to be good. All seems to me part of the devil.
No way. Yeah, exactly.
But you know what's so interesting is something to look very strongly in 2022 on Iran and China. Because Iran has Uranus in 22 degrees of Pisces. And Jupiter and Neptune will meet on this position. And not only this, 2022 degrees got aspect in January 2020 from Saturn Pluto. It's got a positive aspect. And we saw that Iran started to cheat the law against them, the sanction. We don't care what Trump is saying. We are doing our deal and they are continuing to enrich uranium. On the same time, in last October, Iran declared that Bitcoin is a legal currency and they are accepting it for import-export. So it's also boosted a lot of the price of Bitcoin, not only, but because they have a lot of oil, it's a very rich country. And a lot of miners are sitting there that are mining Bitcoin since long time ago. Iran is a great player. This is Uranus, is connected to people and technology. And it could come something from Iran, and everybody are sort of trying to suspend Iran, and Israel is a big microphone against as well. And also China, and China is a good friend with Iran. And also Russia connected. So this is a major economy revolution shift of the totalitarian regime on regimes. It will shake the entire world. The events economically will affect on how people are having their routine, because all of our routine right now is related to money. So it's a big thing, and it's a very, very strong event that I see in China happening. Maybe something that will take Bitcoin to another craziness from summer 2022, and it will go crazy into March 2023. And it's something related with China and the final collapse of the dollar. So it won't be even relevant to measure Bitcoin.
So America is falling apart. America is not going to be the same, right?
No. America will be another fallen empire, like Turkey was, like Spain was, like Italy was, like many other places were empire, like England, and are now an independent, modest country.
So this is important what you're saying. My next question, because they want to make one world government, one government to rule. Oh, this is not possible. I don't see this coming too. But what you're saying, it speaks already that you don't see this coming as well. Yeah. I'm glad that you have the same opinion.
Because it's projected to go there. And the event's going to be stranger and harder and shaking, but is all as a favor to wake up people. It will be very uncomfortable to make the changes. And in the end of all this, also a lot of banks are going to collapse, will need to collapse, or will need to be abandoned in a way. Because imagine that I speak about one Bitcoin to 2050, and it's like people in the imaginary, by imagination, feels rich or millionaire. Already a lot of crypto people are millionaires already that started with crypto a few years ago. But what you're doing with all this? And it's like, if you are a Venezuelan guy, or if you are Argentinian guy, you're already millionaire much before, because the peso is collapsing, the bolivar is collapsing, and for dollar they are paying with bags of paper. That is not enough. So millionaire is very relative word to measurement.
What about gold? Where is the gold going? It went so much up after our markets crashed because of the, all this, the placement of Saturn and so on and so on. In 2020, the gold went up crazy.
Listen, to my current projection of the price of gold toward the end of this year, toward the end of this until the end of June, it's going higher, but moderately to what the digital gold did, meaning Bitcoin. It's going again above the 2000, but again, the dollar is collapsing. I don't know. I know that a lot of people are speaking about gold, and gold is important. Like they're always giving the example, real value, what we're doing. This is the money, but this is the old paradigm. I don't know. Gold has value, but I don't see it to be like diamonds maybe diamonds are even more important, or crystals that will be more rare. Seems to me like even like art pieces. But going back to gold standard, I don't see it happening. All payment way will be based on other technologies, if not blockchain, call it, I don't know, Krasi chain. So it's going to be with any sort of chip that we will agree that is like, will give a sort of permission, even, I don't know, by something maybe by our mind power, I don't know, telepathically, that will charge any part, because we will need always to have Taros parameter in life, like a currency. So in the past, it was salt. After it was, I don't know, with camels or with other way that how we are measuring things. We will need to agree on what sort of currency we are interchanging energies and services. But it's going more to advanced way of interchanging. And the spiritual community are speaking, I met years ago, like communities that we are just give and take. We are not using money. We are just bartering. It's heart to heart. But sometimes we need something that will be accepted, that is more in a physical approach, even that is like a PayPal transaction. But, that is like something that we know, I gave you, you owe me, in a way that is measured. Like we need to have a certain tool, but it's not must to be physical the way we remember for the last 100 years to give a coin. And then
so
it
the physical money will totally disappear. This is your opinion?
Yes. That it's very important to people to learn about the blockchain and understanding a new paradigm of monetary system. A lot of people thinking, I don't want to invest, I don't want to speculate, I don't want to take risk. You are taking risk without taking risk, by the way, in this period. And second, with Uranus in Taurus right now in tropical astrology, it's all about the infrastructure of monetary system. We need to be prepared to this.
Very important information you're giving. How is this going to be in 2024? Osher, how is this going to develop further into the same direction, right?
Listen, 2024 is like a new world investigation. Like I'm even trying to wait entering too much to this region. Right now, I put in front of me for a moment July 2024. I'm seeing Pluto in 0 degrees, exactly in the point where Saturn and Jupiter met in 2020. December 2020. So this is already huge shift, huge. Neptune moving to Aries and Pluto moving to Aquarius. Such air energy. We are going to be like living already like a lot of technologies that we need to prepare to this now. I don't know what sort of technology are going to be launched. I don't know what sort of disaster we are going to pass from there, but it's going to be a build of a new, and Neptune in Aries will enter us to enough years, to a decade of
Neptune in Aries.
wow. It's like a divine being, it's like we need to be spiritual. It's like,
but many people can get crazy with this.
Yeah,
you can get craziness.
It's like no ego, no individual. And it's also the scariness that where people will be very weakened to be like a robot zombie, that you don't have identity, that you are having like a program, a chip that is managing you. I'm just showing the shadow. I like always to take the shadow because maybe this is the way I'm awakening, because not just to speak with flowers.
I know.
But exactly, if you awake from now already, you are building yourself to technology, knowing that Neptune in 3 years and how we are going will move to Aries, and I'm going to be above it's like supernatural also abilities. It will be also your ability to use your brain and your telepathy ability and healing. It's like, but Pluto in Aquarius, oh my goodness, it's like a Star War.
Yeah, this is already now Pluto is in Capricorn, and he entered very recently. He is in the first degrees, but
you know what it seems to
Aquarius,
me? You know what I'm afraid?
I'm curious.
I'm afraid because 2024 feels like not a lot of human on Earth. Like in those areas, in the years after this, it's like Neptune in Aries could predict also floods, major floods, and ice period in many areas, and need for going to another spaces. Pluto in Aquarius, going to another spaces is also, but it's not on the same day because there are outer planets. It's like entering us to another paradigm. It's not much to be devastating, but it's like seeing where dark it can go and what action we can do now to take it to our advantage and to transform our limitation and fears and ego to, because from 2024, it's the literal opening of the Aquarius age. This is totally another paradigm. And no governments in the way we know today. It should be, until then, transformation of many governments, civil revolution to take over the current structures and to build different way of community governing system, that people will have power on the decision. We always will need to have decision makers helping, but the way that so few managing the so many without our ability to involve, more than just voting once in 4 years, it's not correct.
And they even fake the vote in the end.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Get awake to your potential. Try something new. Take risk. Go out from your comfort zone. Find new horizons. Find new alternatives. Take risk to get mistakes. You are not going to succeed in every trial you are going to take. But if your motive is to liberate yourself and to find your own justice or new way of comfort, this is enough superior purpose to motivate and to provide happiness and to attract other like-minded people to join this path.